Yo, how's everyone doing? So, it's finally come. I want to talk about the rank system in GGST. We've been playing on the rank system for a little over a month now, I believe. So, just want to give my thoughts on what I think about it and how it's been going. So, for me personally, there's a lot of places where I want to start, and I know a lot of people have a lot of different gripes with the rank system. I think the most apparent thing that I can speak about to start off is the first to two. Yeah, let's just jump straight into it. The first to two. Why? Why is it not first to three? I think I don't know. It not being first to three just feels so bad, dude. Like I don't know. It makes okay. I will say this as well for it being first to two. I think a lot of the character like charts in terms of like characters like win rate in Vanquisher and characters win rates and ranked and how many characters, like I said, how many characters are in Vanquisher, like the whole chart and everything varies based upon that. Because I think characters like, for example, a character that could really just win on accident like Slayer, or a character like Biken, who I would have to look at the chart again, but it's also probably pretty high in terms of all-time list of Vanquisher, players in Vanquisher. Like characters that can just win on accident and just oop-de-doop you in a first to two. It doesn't feel, obviously it can happen in a first three as well, but a first to two is just so violent. It's just, I don't know. I wish it was first to three. I think that's my number one biggest gripe. My biggest gripe with the rank system. I also wish that when you're playing in Diamond rank, you had win streak bonuses. I think some players, obviously, and this isn't an ego thing, I think some players just should be, like we know they're not Diamond ranked. We know that they are obviously just Vanquisher players. Or even when you start at the start of the new like every 3 months when the reset happens, like some players just don't need to be in Diamond. Like just get us in Vanquisher already. I think maybe a system where you have to play less games if you already made Vanquisher in the 3 months would be great, so that it just skips the whole process for some players overall. It also makes it so a lot of players who are Diamond ranked but can't really make it to Vanquisher, they don't have to get elo bombed or start in a lower ranked like Platinum, for example, because at the start of the new reset they're fighting like players like Jack and etc. Like they don't need to fight those guys. They don't that would be horrible, so I think maybe something like just yeah, I don't know. That's just my opinion though. Okay, so I'm gonna put a chart on the screen. So let's put the Vanquisher rank character, like just how much of each character or how many players of each character made it into Vanquisher. This was updated on the 21st of September, so not too long ago. It's been less than a month, honestly. Yeah. As you can see, we have characters like Milia, we have characters like Slayer, top one and top two. I think this is to be expected. I mean, I think you have to remove Sol and Kai because they are the most played. I'm pretty sure they're like the most played characters in the game for the most part. Actually, I could just check the. Okay, so ranked character usage, yeah, Kai and Sol, and then Unica as well, which is pretty surprising, but. I mean, we're gonna exclude Lucy because she's obviously the newest DLC character. But I think a lot of Lucy's players, you have to even this. You have to put some in each category because obviously these are mains of different characters playing the new DLC. So I think that her 11%. Maybe some of those are Soul players, some of those are Kai players, right? You never know. But overall, back to the Vanquisher chart. Kai and Soul being basically the main characters. Moving outside of these characters, you have Milia, Slayer, Pot, Axel, Biken. Now, and then Zato and Abba. I'm going to say that, like I said before, Milia and Slayer being here is what I imagined. I thought maybe Slayer would actually be first, but I was wrong. I actually thought Biken and Pot would be third and fourth instead of Axel. And then I thought Abba would be higher in front of Axel, but I was wrong. Now, let's talk about why these characters are here. These characters just went on accident, right? Milia is super easy to win with in a first to two. Even a first to three, but more violent in a first to two. You know, you just jump, you jump, you jump. You know, players don't know how to properly chase the character. They don't understand how they should be doing it, right? A lot of players just slam 6P, which is what Milia is baiting you to do. So just winning with the character is kind of free. You can kind of just roll your face and win with the character. And the same goes for Slayer, right? You just kind of roll your face and hit a player. They don't really know his RPS. They don't know what to DB on, what to mash on, you know, throwing Master's Hammer, jumping out of Master's Hammer. Like, they don't understand that. And obviously, the whole thing with the left rights is a lot more dangerous versus just your average players. So being able to get to this rank with Slayer is really no, like, accomplishment. It's kind of just you roll your face, right? And then Soul and Kai, we're excuse them because they're the most played characters in the game. And then you have Pot. Everyone, okay, not everyone, but a lot of players love Pot. You know, they love the whole pot buster or whatever. You don't have to. A lot of players kind of spawned in at the start of season 4. Like players that I have never have ever heard of in my life just picked up Pot, and it's just those players now still playing the character. A lot of Pot enjoyers out there. A lot of players that played Pot when he was bad, and you know now he's obviously very, very good. So I mean, Pot being up here, he's another just roll your face character. No one really knows what he does in terms of your average player except just big command grab that does a lot of damage. So, you know, him being here, that's what I thought. Axel and Sato are two characters that I would expect to be a little higher because Axel being a zoner and kind of, you know, a lot of players don't like to play patient. So, you know, him kind of just punishing players just for not knowing what they're doing. I would expect him and Zato to be up here because, you know, like Zato, the RPS, no one knows the RPS. No one really knows how to interact with Eddie. So, funny enough, before this rank system, when it was just Tower, Zato would have some of the highest elos because, again, no one really knew what he did. So it was really easy to win in Tower with Zato. Even when he was bad, it was really easy to win in Tower with the character. So this is no different. Axel being up here, a lot of players, but again, no one really knows what he does, like your average player, so that kind of explains it. Him and Zato, Zato being the more technical character, and Axel just being the zoner. Biken, again, another roll your face character. And then Abba. I really thought Abba would be higher, but she's there. She's not a cool character, so I guess if she was a little more popular, I could easily see her being up there with, like, Slayer. They're just ignorant characters that kind of just do whatever, so, yeah. And then, obviously, Lucy, the new DLC character. For how many players playing her, with her ratio to how many players actually made it to vanquish her, it's kind of funny. So, yeah, there she is. But yeah, I think playing ranked overall, like, the whole issue is just the amount of random Slayers and Milias that it really does seem like you're fighting the same character over and over and over and over and over again. The next issue I want to talk about is the fighting the same player thing. So I feel like so before you would get queued into the same person over and over and over and over again. Like if I were to check my history, I think I fought an ABBA player by the name of Petrito. Like I think we got matched into each other 20 times in a row, which is just absurd. So with the new DLC colors, the David and the Rebecca colors, they added to the rank, they updated it, and they made it so once you queue into the same person, once you fight someone, you will not fight them for a certain amount of time. That was a lie. I played and I got matched into a friend named Larry. I was 1900, he was 1800. We got matched into each other about five more times. I had to block him because I just didn't want to keep playing him. I wanted to fight different people. And then I started getting different people. I didn't play for too long after that, but I then started getting different people. So I don't know if maybe if I kept playing, I would have gotten matched into, the same person I just fought, but I wasn't there long enough to test it, or I just decided to get off. So I am curious to those in the comment section. Maybe I will play ranked more ranked by the time this video is up. But for anyone that has been playing since the 9th, have you guys been queuing to the same person over and over again, or has the update actually been working? Because for me, it did not work until I blocked my friend. So on the game, right? Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like that. It's not. Why would you even have it in the notes if it doesn't work? Yeah, I think going back to the charts, let's talk about, this is kind of smaller, but 86% percent of players being 86% of the Vanquisher players are on PC. I think that's something, right? And then about 76% of ranked players overall are on PC. I think, Vanquisher being about, okay, this being posted less than a month ago, I'm gonna say probably about 3% of players now are in Vanquisher, which is good. Obviously, Lucy's pick rate has definitely dropped a lot, because, this was taken closer to when she was released. But yeah, overall, the rank system, as it should have been here a while ago. I think, oh man, it's fine now. Maybe this is also an issue that only I'm going through. But what do you guys think of maybe making it so you can only fight certain elos? Like, if you're below 1500, I think you should be able to queue versus whoever. If you start at 1500. So if you're below 1500, I think you should be able to queue into whoever you like. If you're 1500 and up, I think if you're 1500, you should be able to fight up to like, I don't know, maybe 1700, for example. And if you're, above 1700, you can queue into, like 1700 and above, you can queue into anyone you like, for example. Like, stuff like that. I feel like I'm fighting a lot of players that I shouldn't be fighting. Like, a lot of times when I queue, as someone who is in 1900, I get matched up versus players that will be in, like, 1300 or 1400. We're just like, what? Like, this doesn't really feel right. I get that we're Vanquisher, but I don't know. It just feels wrong. It also, I think it stumps the improvement of a lot of players when they just have to rely on elo pipe bombing a player that's 500 points above them. I don't know. It would be, I just think it would be good to maybe incorporate something like that. I think the last thing I'll talk about that I want to see is there needs to be some sort of leave penalty. I think Strive and Celestial, I'm pretty sure if you left, you'd get like this skull emoji type thing around your name, which I saw in some players, but overall that's not enough, especially since now you can't actually see the player's R code. You more just see their name. I wish that there was a leave penalty. Even Grand Blue added a leave penalty to their rank system. I think that we need something like that to prevent people from leaving. A lot of the top or higher players that you see on the leaderboard they're there because they play the majority of their games, but there's some games where they've definitely gotten elo pipe bomb where they just decide to leave. Or if they fight someone they don't like, they'll just leave because they just won't speak to that person because they don't like them. I've had some people leave on me. It's not fun. You know who you are. I just wish there was a penalty for it. Maybe you don't even have to get compensated for it, like the person that didn't leave, but the player that leaves, I wish they'd take like double the loss of what they would lose. I don't know. I also think maybe some like rewards would be cool, but I know you get the badge, but I don't know, maybe something cooler, man. Like I don't know. I think this is kind of stuff you can get creative with. And I realize this is the first time they've dropped the rank system, so I know that they're new to this and there's still more to come and this and that, and they're still seeing out players like everything, but there's just some ideas for the future, so I guess we'll have to see. But overall, yeah, that's kind of it with ranked. I talked about the charts and all of that, speeding up the Vanquisher process, people leaving, finding the same person, finding the same characters. Man, please stop pairing me versus random Slayers and Milias, man. Oh my gosh, it's so dumb. I guess going back to that chart for a sec, it's, Dizzy and Venom being there is obvious, right? They both came out pretty weak, so no one really learned how to play them for the most part. And obviously, they're the newest DLC characters outside of Uni and Lucy. So, it's fine. Also, Unica's pick rate is pretty low too. She's not that much. She's higher than them, but she's not that much higher than them. I just wish, and this is what I was talking about, in my, okay, now I'm going a little off topic, but in my patch video where I talked about them nerfing the scrubby stuff of the game. Nerf Millie and Capel. Why are there 200 plus players in Vanquisher as Millie, bro? Come on, man. And I know some of them might be 1,300 players, but anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, until next time. Yeah, take it easy.